What is up, everybody? We are back in the building. Please give me a 1 in the comments if you could hear me okay. I'm trying not to be too loud because when I listen to it in the playback, I'm going to be honest, it doesn't sound great. And I would like to give you guys all the best listening experience possible and the best viewing experience. That's why I've invested significantly in my setup, my background, my scenery, all these things, because I want you to come here and feel welcomed. So please give me a 1 in the comments if you can hear me okay. Yes, MJ, you are correct. The Thanos glove is gone. We have the Droopy Snoopy LBC in the building with us today. It's a Long Beach piece of Long Beach memorabilia. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like it. So, guys, today we got to talk about this situation that's developing with Robert Hinton Jr. Robert Hinton Jr. or is it Robert? Rodney Hinton Jr. is a Cincinnati man who recently killed a Cincinnati sheriff's deputy following the death of his 18-year-old son at the death of his 18-year-old son at the hands of Cincinnati sheriff deputies. And I want to make sure that I have his name right, because sometimes you be reading these articles and the names just become a blur. Have you guys heard about that story? Maybe I should ask you, because I've been talking to people, and some people have heard about it, some people have not. So Rodney Hinton Jr., his son was killed. His son is named Ryan Hinton Jr. And Ryan Hinton Jr. was riding with a bunch of kids, bunch of his friends, and they were in a stolen car. The police get behind the car to pull the car over. They get into a high-speed chase. The boys jump out the car, run all their separate ways. Police pursue Rodney Hinton Jr.'s son. Police say Ryan pointed a gun at them, the sheriffs. They kill Ryan Hinton. They search his body, and they find 2 guns on him. One with an extended clip and one just a regular pistol. What we have to talk about is the fact that as I go around the internet, I'm seeing something that I honestly feel is kind of disturbing. Similar to the situation in the case with Carmelo Anthony, it's a bit different. I would say Ryan Hinton, his guilt is pretty evident. Being in a stolen car, having guns on him, running from the police, allegedly pointing the gun at them, and then obviously having warrants out for his arrest in connection with 2 murders in the city of Cincinnati, murders in which they believe that Ryan Hinton was the trigger man. This is a bit different from Carmelo Anthony, but I basically see Black people, African-American people, they are basically saying that Rodney Hinton, his father, is a hero. They're saying that this killing, I didn't tell you, Rodney Hinton Jr., Ryan Hinton's father, goes out the next day. He sees a retired deputy sheriff, an old man, helping with traffic control for a university graduation. He plows his car into this man, killing him instantly. Now, how you get from my son, who clearly is a criminal, wanted in connections with 2 murders where they believe he's the trigger man, in a stolen vehicle, has firearms in his possession, points a pistol at the police, gets killed, body search, 2 pistols, extended clip. How you go from that to I'm going to go out and kill a retired sheriff's deputy, and African-American people justifying that and calling this man a hero and saying it was warranted because this is an eye for an eye, is beyond me. I don't get it, guys. I don't get it. That's why I lay it at your feet today. I want to know what you all believe. Is something wrong with me? Is something wrong with me? Because I don't think that Rodney Hinton Jr., the father, is a hero? Or am I a mature, responsible adult who understands that if you raise your kid, even if you raise your kid right, if your kid decides to lead a life of crime, that doesn't mean you get to go out and take life on his behalf. I just don't agree with that in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to play a clip from the story, let you guys get an idea of what's going on, just in case I didn't explain it effectively enough. And then you guys we can start the conversation as to whether or not this guy is innocent. I mean, as to whether or not this guy is justified, because he clearly did it. But now we want to find out if this is what you would call a justified killing, right? He did kill the retired sheriff's deputy. But now we're trying to decipher whether this was a justified killing and whether or not Rodney Hinton Jr. should be looked at as some type of hero or martyr. I know I don't think that, but I'm getting to the point where I am really starting to just say, hey, you know what? If this is the type of crap that African-American people want to stand behind, who am I to tell them not to? Who am I to tell them not to? If you want your community to become associated with violence and brutality and the celebration of violence and brutality, it's your community to fashion or shape in whatever way you like. I'm not going to be a part of that because I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I 100% do not believe in that. I believe the law should be followed. I believe if you're doing crime, you should understand what could potentially happen with that, with that. And if you do, end up losing your life behind the crimes you're committing, no one should be going out killing someone on your behalf. Because this is ridiculous. This is not right. This is not right, in my opinion. But like I said before, I'm gonna lay it at your feet. I'm gonna see if my black people are on the same page as me. Because clearly we ain't all on the same page out in these streets. Some of us want safe communities. Some of us want to defend and celebrate criminals. Which one are you? Because I'll admit, with the Carmelo Anthony situation, there is room for an argument. But with the with the Ryan Hinton situation, I don't see any room for an argument on that. But I am not perfect. Neither are you. So let's have the discussion and see if we could come to some type of consensus. I want to make this a solutions-based live stream. That, like, if I wanted to just speak my piece and leave it at that, I would just do a regular pre-recorded video. But I want to make this a solutions-based live stream, and I want to hear from you all. So I'm going to do a poll. I'm going to put the link in the comments, and I'm going to let you guys hop up here so I can see what you think. We're going to play this video from the beginning, and you all be the judge. If you're a jury of Rodney Hinton Jr.'s peers, do you say the killing was justified? Do you say you understand where he's coming from? Or do you say, no, dude, you raised a criminal, or you raised a child who became a criminal, and you had no right to take the life of that innocent retired sheriff's deputy? Let's tap in.
Other news tonight, Cincinnati police are sharing body camera video of the moments that led to an officer-involved shooting and killing of a suspect in East Price Hill. And WLWT News 5's Danielle Dindak has been leading the way on this investigation for us. She's live right now, walking us through the video. Hi, Danielle.
Hi there, Mike. This video is very fast. We're talking about 6 seconds. 6 seconds from the time that officer got out of his vehicle and fired those shots. I do want to warn you, what you're about to watch could be hard to see.
He's got a gun. He's got a gun on your right. On your right.
In a matter of seconds. It all began with a stolen vehicle, a Kia from Edgewood, Kentucky. GPS tracking led the investigation here, a condo complex in East Price Hill. Officers arrived, and Chief Terry Thiegy explains what happened next.
All four individuals get out and start running.
On your right. On your right.
Some in different directions. So officers decide which individual they're going to pursue. One officer decides to pursue the individual who we now know had a firearm in his hand.
At some point, the person with the gun slips.
They heard the metal from the firearm hit the concrete. This individual gets up, still has the firearm in his hand, and continues to run through the dumpsters.
The officer who fired the shots was chasing another suspect before he made contact with the armed suspect.
The officer who did discharge his firearm said that when the individual came out between the dumpsters, he had the firearm in front of him. It was in like a bladed position, and it was pointed at the officer. And he felt threatened for his life, and that's why he discharged his firearm.
4 to 5 rounds were fired. The suspect was hit twice, given medical care right away, and died. Thiegy says this is the gun the suspect had. A semi-automatic with an extended magazine, with another magazine in his pocket.
Let me be very direct. We cannot allow individuals to flee from officers with a loaded firearm aimed at them. When this happens, the outcome is almost always tragic.
Police also told us that a stolen gun was found inside that stolen Kia. At this time, we still do not have the identity of the person who was shot and killed. All police could tell us is that he was approximately 18 years old. Reporting live in East Price Hill tonight, Danielle Dindak, WLWT News 5.
Okay, so when I'm on the internet, I'm on Facebook this morning, and it's typical. I see a bunch of black people literally making up stories about this situation. No evidence of what they're saying, no reference for what they're saying, no citation of sources, literally just making things up. And what I'm learning is you have a lot of people who are running social media platforms, and these people don't care about the truth. They don't care about, what the reaction or response to lies may be. They're literally saying anything they can to get clicks and views. Like, if I wanted a bunch of views, I could have been like, murderous Cincinnati sheriffs kill innocent young black man, shooting him in the back. Father takes revenge. He's a hero. This would go to 50,000 views. I promise you. This would literally go to 50,000 views because that's the way the algorithm works. The algorithm doesn't decide between true or false. The algorithm works based on what is being clicked, what is being shared, and what is being watched for the longest time. So if African American people watch things where people just blatantly tell them lies every day, that is what most African American people who are interested in these topics will see. If black people see a title and says, I don't like that title, because that title doesn't automatically cast Rodney Hinton Jr. in a good light. Well, that video, like this one, is going to get relegated to the bottom. It's not going to get disseminated by YouTube. So what we have to understand is we've, in a way, created an echo chamber of lies and deception on social media for ourselves. People were saying, and this is what most black folks think, he killed the sheriff deputy that killed his son. No, he didn't. He didn't even come near the sheriff deputies who killed his son. He killed a sheriff deputy who was retired, a former sheriff deputy who still did traffic control work for university graduations. So imagine you hear about a shooting of some young kid. You're like, dude, tomorrow I got to go do traffic control at the university for the graduation. You look up, a car is barreling towards you and strikes you and kills you. And you're like, huh? And the guy who did it is killing you because his son, who was in fact a criminal, was killed while in the act of committing crime by sheriff's deputies. I mean, does that make sense to you guys? For some reason, my thing to do a poll is not working. But I really want to get a consensus on this. I don't want to be the odd man out. That was already me on the Ibrahim Traore thing. I want to see what y'all think. I'm giving y'all the link to call in. You could either come up and tell me, or you could make comments. I was watching a video by some guy. I've never even heard of his channel. But when I watched his videos, I mean, you could tell he's a low IQ person. He's figured this YouTube.
Other news tonight, Cincinnati police.
He's figured this YouTube algorithm stuff out way better than me. So I can't knock him, but he's a low IQ individual. But unfortunately for us, social media is a space where you don't really have to be intelligent to gain subscribers and views. You simply have to be good at recognizing patterns. So if someone recognizes a pattern where they say, hey, if I spew straight pro-black degenerate propaganda, people are going to click on my videos. That person is incentivized to spread lies and misinformation. And if you come here for news or to learn and be informed about what's going on in the world around you, well, guess what? You are susceptible to becoming a victim of misinformation. So I'm going to play a part of this dude's video because I want you to see the type of people who are reporting this stuff, who are just literally taking hearsay that they got off the internet and coming up and bringing that, laying that before you as if it's fact. Now, I heard people saying, oh, he didn't have the gun in his hand. He dropped the gun before the police shot him. Guys, the chief of police literally has the body cam footage, and she's pointing out to you how the boy was still holding the gun and pointed it at officers before he was killed. You got to get yourself out of this mindset where it's like, I just want to believe the things I want to hear. I don't care about the truth. The Bible says that you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. But if we've become a people who falls in love with lies, and we're willing to accept and regurgitate lies because it makes us feel better, will we ever be free? Will we ever be able to find this elusive freedom that we seek? No, you will always be a slave to lies. You will always be a slave to lies. Lying is going to happen no matter what, but you don't have to be a slave to it. Just stand up for what's right.
Is implying that he did. Kyle?
All right, David, thank you.
All right, so I'm going to keep this up real quick. Let's go back to this quote-unquote bladed position.
I do not need to turn to you and square up in order to threaten.
Now, pause that right there. That young man is running away from the police. You don't see a gun pointed at him. That's why the lady tried to white-splain. Well, the video's kind of jolting, so you can't. That man is not. People who are running from the police don't shoot at police. They are trying to get away from the police. And so all throughout this video, they tried to paint the young man as a suspect. He had a gun with 2 full magazines, stolen car. He was in a bladed position.
They didn't paint him as anything. They simply said what he did. He was in a stolen car. So is the car stolen? Yes or no? Yes. He had guns on him. Did he have guns on him or not? Yes. Did he have a warrant out for his arrest in association with 2 other homicides where they believe he pulled the trigger? Yes. Guys, do you understand that in cities, criminals know cops and cops know criminals? They know each other because they have several run-ins with each other over the course of their career. Cops know who the criminals are, who are the dudes getting arrested, who are the dudes hanging out. People are snitching on people every day. So all of a sudden, this guy is innocent. I just want to know, was the car stolen? Yes. At that point, I'm already like, yo, I got to take everything with a grain of salt. You rolling around in a stolen car with extendos and switches. Why are we normalizing that? Why are we attempting to normalize that? That's all I'm saying. The kid was out here in these streets. Bro was acting like a YN. He was rolling with the homies doing crime. He had to run in with the cops. Why didn't he just stay in the car? Fuck it. I go down for a stolen vehicle. I'm running with the guns on me. Bro, if you're going to get rid of guns, you throw those down or leave those in the car and take off on foot. Why are you carrying the guns with you? And people telling me, well, Brandon, this, that. Listen, man, if I'm a cop who knows that this crap has become a culture, this YN behavior, I know they're on drugs. I know they're drinking. I know they're smoking. I know they're doing crime. I know they're being praised for who can be the most vicious. You think I'm going to wait to see if the kid wants to shoot me if I know he has a gun? No, I'm going to light his ass up because I understand that the culture, this new culture that's coming to our community, this drill culture, that's what it is, drill culture. I know that it promotes drug use. I know that people who are on drugs do crazy things. I know that people who are on drugs do crazy things. So when I'm looking at the police officers, I'm not saying that every cop is a good cop. What I'm saying is I kind of understand if they're a bit on edge and they kind of are on this like shoot first, ask questions later tip. Because they're not dealing with human beings who are in their right mind. They're dealing with people who are taking drugs, which are turning them into savages. I can't ask somebody to throw their life away like that just so I could feel good. And honestly, I'm not going to feel good. I feel better knowing that that kid is off the street. I'm going to be real with you. And I keep giving y'all the link because I want to know if anyone is in disagreement. This is not an echo chamber by any means. All opinions are welcome. If you feel like this situation was justified, come up and explain to us.
All know that young men who run from the police are not intended on shooting police. If they were, then why would they run? Now, mind you, the father that you saw in the video had just seen this body cam footage before he did what he did. Now, you know, it's said that they don't know if it was intentional, but, you know, I have every reason to believe that it was intentional after watching this, but also after watching these people try to explain why and how his son's life was taken. Now, I'm going to show you that same lady right after the shooting of Ryan Hinton, the son, trying to explain to the public once again how and why this officer was justified. He felt threatened for his life. I probably can't watch too much of this because it's just blatant lies. It's evil. It's deceitful. It's manipulation of facts. And they just going to paint this video. They're going to stop it and point it and direct you, what lawyers call coloring the video, to what they want you to believe.
I'm really just, you know, I look at this guy. He looks dirty. He looks unkept. He looks poor. He looks like somebody who would say or do anything for $1. I'm being real with you. He has YouTube success, and I remember, I remember my grandma used to say, "Everybody don't need money. Everybody don't need money, because some people, once they get money, they're gonna act ignorant and be a detriment to themselves." This guy doesn't have to live in your neighborhood. He's making money on YouTube selling you lies. He can move far away from the YNs of Cincinnati. So what he's saying and the lies that he's spreading don't impact him. I don't live next to a bunch of YNs, and I don't live in the hood either, right? Why is it that me, even though I don't really have to worry about that, why do I feel compelled to tell you the truth and make sure that the truth is known? Why? Because it's about being a man. One man loves his community and wants to see his community, or what's left of it, prosper. Another man doesn't give a damn about his community. He's only focused on his pocket. And if the community goes straight to hell, he couldn't care less because he got what he wanted. That's the way this works.
That it was intentional.
These people don't give a damn about the black community. These people care about one thing: their own pocket. Their own pocket. And if they got to lie to you, if they got to allow criminals to roam the streets to put money in their pocket, they'll do it. Because they're thinking in their mind, hey, if things get too dangerous, I could just leave. Are you guys still questioning or wondering why, when many African-American people get money, they immediately leave the black community? Bro, this guy's a pure criminal. His dad murders an innocent retired sheriff's deputy. And you have black people actually wondering, I wonder if he's innocent. There's no way in hell this guy is innocent. There's no way in hell this killing was justified. Someone said, Rose Jackson said, well, Brandon, you don't know how he feels because it wasn't your kid. You know what? I've lost people. I've lost people in my family. I've lost friends. The father of Austin Metcalf lost his son. Why bro didn't go kill? Why didn't bro go run over some random black person? And if he did it, would it have been justified with, oh, an eye for an eye? Black folks sit up and complain and cry if somebody just say something they don't like, but then want to act tough, like we ready for that, like we ready, like we about that life. Bro, what if white people decided to do an eye for an eye? Every time they were killed or victimized by black folks, they go out and take out 1 or 2 black people. Bro, we would get dragged straight up. I'm not even saying that in a cowardly way. We would get dragged. We get dragged by Mexicans too. 90% of the reason is because when we walk around, we'll be innocent and oblivious, not even knowing that one of our YNs then went and murdered one of their people, and they would get the drop on us. La 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 la. Some black guy shot my son. Oh, damn, really? 100% Rich Diana. An eye for an eye leaves everyone blind. But I continue to express this sentiment. Black people have been driven into a state of insanity due to their inability to secure reparations. So now we are taking a scorched earth approach to race relations in America. We believe that if we incite whites or other racial groups of people to commit violent acts against us, that somehow will create an environment that is conducive to us receiving reparations. I know my people. We be having all types of bird brain schemes. And I honestly believe this is one of them. I believe that these people want to stoke the fires of racial hatred to the point where a white person or a Hispanic person or Asian person does something extremely egregious, some heinous act of violence, and then we're going to try to piggyback on that to reparations. That's the only way that's the only thing that I can see that can justify this type of stupidity. This man then killed the innocent person trying to get revenge for his son who is a criminal. And you sit up here celebrating the guy like he's some type of damn hero. That ain't it. Like I put in the title, Black Family, this ain't it. This is not it. There's a lot of ways to do things, but I promise you, what you're doing now ain't the way. It ain't the way. God forbid others start treating start doing us, trying to do us the same way we're trying to do them. But when people are wondering, like, why would this guy do that? We know that a young man who runs from the cops is not intending to shoot a cop. Listen, man, these kids are on drugs. These kids are on drugs. And when people are on drugs, they are very unpredictable. You don't know what they will do. When people are on drugs, you do not know what they will do. I want to show y'all something. I think this is the same lady. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this lady right here, right? There's a woman. She was a drug She was a drug addict, right? This was in Liberty County, Florida. I don't know if you guys heard about this story. Liberty County, Florida. I'm gonna let the newscaster tell you about this. But what I want you to know, what I want you to get is people do things that are totally unexplainable. when they're involved with drugs. Sir, real talk, real talk. So when I hear stories about people doing stuff that don't make sense, that doesn't make sense, like pointing a gun at the police, the first thing I think about is drugs. I say that person must have been on drugs. They must have been on that wet stick. What were they? The Wiccan stick. If from what Costa told me, they call it Midwest, the Wiccan stick. They was on some type of psycho-reactive or psychological stimulant, something that sent them into psychosis. And if you don't believe me, check out this story.
The Liberty Township grandmother who shot her own 5-month-old grandchild was in court this morning to be sentenced after pleading guilty. This was the scene last December. The sheriff's office says that Mia Harris shot the baby and shot the child's mother. This is video of her being arrested. Today, both of the victims in the case were in court. Ken Brown was there as well as the mother of Harris' grandchild addressed her directly.
Some powerful words coming out of the woman that once lived with Mia Harris and shared a home with her and actually called her mom.
I just want you to know that you changed Myra's life forever. And what you did was wrong to my daughter.
That's young Myra's mother addressing Mia Harris in court after she pleaded guilty to felonious assault. Prosecutors say last December, Harris pulled a gun on the young mother and tried to shoot her.
You shot my daughter. You stood over me with a gun and made me plead for my life. I never called you Mia Harris a day in your life until you held a gun to me. And I had to plead for my life, and then you shot my daughter in front of me.
Prosecutors say the victim in this case used to call Mia Harris mom, but concerned with a gun pointed at her, she called her Mia. And that's when Harris turned the gun on the victim's daughter, her own grandchild.
You held a gun over me, and I loved you. You hurt me. You hurt my whole family. You hurt everyone back there.
Prosecutors said in court, Mia Harris regularly smoked marijuana and that in the weeks leading up to the shooting, her family reported her acting more and more erratic. This is video of her before she was questioned by police. Prosecutors say at the time she was smoking more often, and the strange behavior coincided with a change in her supplier of marijuana. In court, Harris's attorney discussed mental health issues she faced and the recent changes that happened in her life.
It came to a point about a couple of weeks, days, weeks before, and Mia, in her letters, she snapped.
Now, listen to what the family is saying. The family is saying she used to smoke a lot of weed, but in the weeks leading up to the shooting, she had changed the person who supplied her weed. Now, they gave this woman a mental health evaluation just to see if by some freak accident they missed some mental or psychological issues that she was having or disability. The woman passed the test. She's a mentally stable person. So everyone is associating her acting out like that with drugs. Basically, what they're believing is someone put something in the weed that she was smoking. Her new supplier put something. And if you know anything about selling weed or smoking weed, I've never smoked weed. I've sold weed, never smoked it. I remember there was a time when I was breaking down some weed with a dude one time, and he was like, "Bro, I just sprayed roach spray on my weed." He was like, "It get people more high, and they just keep coming back." I don't know if that was true or not, but I know that there are dealers who will taint marijuana in an attempt to either get you addicted to something stronger that's more expensive, or in an attempt to make you a repeat customer because you smoking some stuff that's making you feel higher than any weed has ever made you feel. And so what the other suppliers are giving you is not going to give you that same high. So you're going to go back to that supplier who's giving you the good stuff. Now, she could have been a straight up crackhead for all we know, right? She could have been like, I smoke weed when I'm not smoking dope, crack, either or. But do you understand how drugs can make somebody act insane? Do you understand how drugs can make somebody do something that they normally wouldn't do? And this is what I think about when I think about these YNs. Yeah, they might be decent kids. They might be kids that were once good kids who got on that pookie and they started acting out. Because believe it or not, most of the crime that these dudes are committing is committed in an effort to get money to buy drugs. They ain't out here breaking in houses so they could buy a house or even buy a car. They're doing crime so that they can pay for or support their drug habit. And guys, you remember, as long as you can remember, what did drug addicts do to support their habit? They committed crime. Y'all think because somebody dressed a certain way or look a certain way or can rap good or they're handsome or they wear skinny pants, y'all think that mean that person ain't doing drugs. Y'all think that person, because of their outer appearance and the way they behave, they couldn't be a drug addict. No, bro. You can literally be the best dressed person on earth. If you smoke crack, you're still a crackhead. If you smoke dope, you're still a dope fiend. If you pop pills, you're still a pill head. If you smoke meth, you're still a tweaker. See, there's like this disassociation with the stigma between the person and the stigma based on the way the person presents themselves. You see somebody like Kevin Gates. Ooh, girl, he's so fine. That fool smoke crack. Well, used to. He's still a dope fiend. It don't matter how good he clean up. It doesn't matter how nice he look when he's dressed up. He's still a dope fiend. And will exhibit dope fiend behavior with the right set of circumstances. I done seen rich people who spent all their money on dope, famous rappers that I actually know. They on meth and dope. And they done spent up all their royalty check on dope. I done seen rich rappers, the cool guys who get all the girls, straight up fiending, scratching the neck, can't get the dope. Looking like Eddie Kane off of the 5 Heartbeats. They'll do anything to get it, and once they get it, it will get them to do all types of stuff that you can't even imagine. Most addicts commit crimes while they're high, because only when they get high do they have the confidence to go out and do the crime. I'm being real. Most addicts commit crimes while they're high, because when they're high, that's when they have the confidence to go out and do the crime. Let them sober up and go tell him to go steal a car. He won't do it. Let him sober up and tell him to go get in a shootout with the police. He won't do it. Or break in somebody's house. He won't do it. So do I believe that this kid was high when he was engaging with the police? Hell yeah. They probably was all together in that car, getting high on whatever they getting high on. Probably was driving down the street, driving recklessly. Police got on him. First thing they might tell him to do, hit the gas, jump out. We got to run. His mind probably said, maybe if it's just one cop, I could shoot him and get away. Your mind don't be thinking right. Just like that grandmother who killed that precious little baby. You think that lady really just wanted to kill her granddaughter? She didn't kill the granddaughter. The granddaughter lived, thank God. But do you think that lady, if she was in her right mind, would have shot her own grandbaby in the face? Come on. Your family is scared because of the way you're acting, because you're not acting like yourself. I'm telling you right now that the kid that was in that car, Ryan Hinton, the one who got killed, that wasn't Ryan Hinton, the son of Rodney Hinton Jr. That was Ryan Hinton, the dope fiend. That was Ryan Hinton, the drug addict. That was Ryan Hinton, the drug-induced criminal who carries switches and extendos, steals cars, and pulls guns on police officers. I'm sorry, guys. I hate to be the guy. But what I'm trying to get you guys to understand, this is not the hill you want to die on, black people. This is not the hill we want to die on. Lex, 100% right. An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. 100% right. And when you get yourself out on a limb trying to defend these types of people, all you do is make other groups, whether you like it or not, this is America. We have to live around other races of people. In Africa, these dudes would be in prison for life if they got found with any type of drugs. So let's not make this a, oh, if we went back to Africa, this happened. These dudes are probably dead in Africa. In America, you have to live with other racial groups. But let me tell you something. If you begin to present yourself as a threat to the greater society, to the overall society, believe me, society will deal with you. They will. You might not believe it's possible. They will deal with you. You guys, look at what they do to cults. You know what a cult is? C-U-L-T? That's what I think certain elements or certain members in the black community are becoming. I believe we, in our time, are seeing something that is unprecedented in history. I believe we are seeing the formation of what I will call a criminal identity cult. This is where people who are normal people, just like all members of cults, they start off as normal people and then they begin to revere and worship violent criminal behavior. And I think a characteristic of the criminal identity cult is what your sins are, drug cult. This is what you're looking at. You are looking at the black community or certain elements within the black community forming a criminal identity cult where criminals are celebrated and defended, and the people who speak out against those criminals are condemned. That's what I think. You think I'm lying? How many of these young girls out here pull their damn pants down and make a baby with one of these thugs while simultaneously rejecting somebody with a great job, making over $100,000 a year, his own home, and ready to start a family? You guys know what they like. Go look on the internet. Oh, we like bad boys. Why? Because somehow our culture has evolved in a way to where we worship and celebrate criminals. We fear criminals, but we simultaneously worship them. Because what if it was you that Ryan Hinton was carjacking? What if it was your house that these guys were breaking into, or your car that they were stealing? What if you only had one car and that was your only way to get to work? And you go out in one morning and some YNs and stole your car. I bet you wouldn't be talking about this kid is a martyr and his dad's a hero then. You only celebrate it because it's not happening to you. But if you're going to celebrate thugs, well, we might as well. Why be mad at white folks when they celebrate bad cops who murder black people? So what you're doing, there's this quote by Nietzsche. I don't know if you guys, we're getting cultured today, guys. We're getting cultured today. Y'all, look, one thing on this channel, you're going to learn something. There's this quote by Nietzsche. This is what Nietzsche said. I want to pull it up right here for y'all on Branding Quotes. Let's do this. We'll call this the lunchtime learning hour. Nietzsche said, beware that when fighting monsters, you yourself do not become a monster. For when you gaze long into the abyss gazes also into you. Do you think that there's maybe a chance that in our righteous cause to fight against violent police officers who kill young Black people with impunity, do you think that there's a possibility that within that fight, we may have become the very monsters that we're fighting against? I mean, Nietzsche warned you, but how many of us are actually reading Nietzsche? I mean, it was quoted in Coming to America, but I bet you don't even remember that. I think we've become the very monsters that we've been fighting. I hate to say it, some of us at least. But we got to keep our wits about us. We have to keep our wits about us. Because somebody is going to have to build from the ashes. Do I believe the Black community is destined for destruction in America? Probably. But do I think that from the ashes something can emerge that's greater than ever before? Yeah, I believe that. Do I believe everybody needs to have some type of Africa plan, or at the minimum a contingency plan to get the hell out of here when shit hits the fan? Yeah. Do I think everybody's going to take that serious? Do I think everybody's going to do what they have to do to prepare themselves? No. No. But there are some of us who can make it. There are some of us who can make it out the other side of the fire. But the ones who make it are going to be the ones who learn and listen. Those of us who are capable of unlearning and relearning. Unlearning the old ways that led us to destruction. And relearning. And I say relearning because our people were very prosperous and successful in this country at one time. Relearning the things that helped our ancestors walk out of slavery and into prosperity. What do you guys think about that? I like the idea of that. We got people with bright ideas. We got great people who make up our community. But I lose sleep at night thinking that all of our greatest are just one YN away, one YN drug-induced shooting away from that person being erased from our community and their thoughts along with them, their great ideas along with them. Look at your favorite celebrities, the ones you worship, the D.L. Hugleys and whatnot. They'll constantly champion the cause of Black criminals, but they won't even live in Black neighborhoods. Let that sink in. Zarth, I'm hoping there's hope. There's always hope, Zarth, for real. There's always hope. But you're going to have a contingent of people who are willing to speak truth to power. Is Rodney Hinton Jr. a hero? Hell no. Is Rodney Hinton Jr. a hurt father who sought vengeance on behalf of his criminal son? Yes. What do you think is going to happen? I'm thinking Rodney Hinton Jr. is going to spend the rest of his natural life in prison. And I'm thinking that that's the place that Rodney Hinton Jr. deserves to be. Now, we could talk about another story where I think a white person is wrong as two left shoes. But then I had to do some research, and my opinion on it, you know, it's interesting. Did you guys hear the story about the white lady who not deleted, but called the black kid an N-word? Did you guys hear that story? I'm going to put a little tag right here. White woman calls black child the N-word. Okay, so a white woman called a black child the N-word. Now I'm hearing some conflicting stories. Some people say the lady's just a racist. She hates black people. Somebody said that I heard that the guy was going in her purse. The kid was going in her purse, and she called him the N-word. But what matters is this lady has raised over $600,000 since she was recorded calling a young black child the N-word and being confronted over it by what sounded like an Indian dude. So what I want to do is, we play somebody like Rashard Ritchie. You know, bro's gonna spin it. That's what he does. That's what he does. But me, I don't really like just spin. I really like to see both sides, or try to at least see both sides, because I don't think the world is as simple as many of us would like it to be. I mean, dude, I see Asians saying the N-word all damn day. They calling each other the N-word. That strikes that kind of pokes holes in this narrative that like nobody can say the N-word except for black folks. Because I'm thinking like, yo, we might have taught these other groups to say the N-word because we said so much amongst ourselves. There was something under my foot. Okay, let's play this.
Did you call him the child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him a. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say.
Okay, a Minnesota woman was caught in a viral video slinging a series of racial slurs at an autistic child, and a man at a playground in Rochester, about 90 minutes south of Minneapolis. The woman, Shiloh Hendricks, admitted to hurling the N-word at a 5-year-old boy she allegedly caught rifling through her bag at the playground. Sharmaik Omar, who filmed the incident, pressed the blonde woman and asked if digging through her belongings would justify using a racial slur against a child who is autistic.
She was going to deny it and walk away. When there was a video and she saw that I was recording, she doubled down and even tripled down now.
Hendricks has since asserted she was the victim of an attack, claiming online that the viral video has put her family in jeopardy. Hendricks claims she has to relocate her family to escape threats stemming from the internet and has started a 1 million online donation campaign to make the move. Okay, so I know the narrative on here. It has to be she's a racist. Everybody supporting her is a racist. Racism, 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 racism. And in this situation, I would say the lady is racist. She is a racist. She is. She said the N-word and then called bro an N-word too. And bro black. I mean, it's just some white folks ain't about to let you police what they say and what they do. I get it, man. I smacked the chick's kid for freaking trying to steal something out of my car. I kid you not. I kid you not. A kid tried to dig in my car one day at the park. I caught his black ass. He was probably about 16. I slapped his ass across the face. Like, bro, what the fuck is up? How you gonna try to steal from my car, bro? Like, who do you think I am? I smacked that dude. And the crazy thing about it is, I know the guy's mom. And yes, she was mad when I smacked his ass. And I'm gonna get my brother. And the brother hit me up, and I said, yep, and I'll smack his ass again. If you don't want him to get smacked, stop teaching him to steal. So I too am guilty of going off on a kid for trying to steal something. But with me, it's like I can't control how other people react. All I can control is, and Miss Barry, I'm gonna minimize you real quick for the sake of short clips after this. I can't control how someone else is gonna react. The only thing I can control is what I do and what my kids do. You know, I work with autistic people. And honestly, you gotta watch autistic kids. I'm looking at the situation like, where was the autistic kid's parent while this kid is rifling through somebody's purse?
Exactly. That was my question. That's why I came up.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead, say it again.
Hi, good afternoon. I was just calling to find out where the little N-word's mother is at. Where was she? And how come she hasn't shown her face yet? Where's the little N-word's mother?
That might have been his daddy.
Well, he didn't say that was his son. He just made a scene about it. And I don't even know if, like, I don't believe that story is, something's not right about that. But go on.
No, for real. You know, but
I just wanted to know, did the little N-word's mother, did she ever come out? Did she ever say anything? Has she presented herself? Has she made any noise about this? You know, like criticizing the lady about getting all this money for calling her son an N-word?
Hell no. Hell no.
You think it's because she calls her son an N-word? Because, you know, we don't want to have that conversation, do we?
No,
because the little N-word, no, he know that name.
He know that word. You said he know that word too well.
Exactly. He know that name.
Damn. Hey, look, I can't give my opinion no more. These people, they hate when I give my opinion. But my thing is like, guys, this is just adulting 101. You can't control someone's reaction, but you can control what you do. And it is your duty as a parent to control what your children do. Because what if she'd have walked up and slapped him across the face like I did that kid? Then what you was going to do?
Then his mother wasn't even there. So then he would have just been slapped. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Something is not right about this story.
Bro would have just got, I guess, huh?
Yeah, he would have been slapped and crying about whatever. But I mean, Sticks and stones, baby. I don't understand what's so like. These people are lunatics.
Yeah, it's starting to look like these people are just looking for anything over which they can call racism. Like, that's what it's starting to look like.
They've been on the hunt for a new George Floyd since George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? And nothing's really working out for them like they needed to. So now they gotta like compound it. You know, Carmelo, then this other man, then the little N-word. Like, it's like they're trying to, you know, flip a switch. I think something's not right.
Man, you're 100% right. Like, I just don't understand, what is your goal in all this? The kid was going through the lady's purse. She called him an N-word. She was wrong for that. And yes, she is a racist. Okay, but there's a freedom of speech in this country. It's not like they can convict her of a crime.
But wait a minute. You could say the N-word. You could write the N-word. You could say, can I say the N-word? Because I'm about to say the N-word. But anyway, you could say the N-word. You could say it on TV now. That's not a censored word. You could type it into a comment. Like, you could make a comment using the N-word, but you can't say the B word. You can't say, you know, certain things you have to disguise, but you could write that word just fine without any sort of, oh, your comment looks like something someone said before kind of warning or, you know, any of that. So they no longer censor that word. That word, what did Jay-Z said? We embrace that word. We have taken that word and we love that word. So now we crying about that word? I don't understand.
Hey, that's what we out here telling folks. I remember years ago, they'd be like, we've made that a word of empowerment, my nigga. Like, I swear to God,
right,
I saw that.
Exactly. It's our word now.
Yeah,
it's our word. So we could call each other that. We could call ourselves that, but somebody else can't call us that. Although, this is a story from when my son was in like the 5th grade, and one of our neighbors, like, we had just moved into this neighborhood. Like, I just bought my house and everything, and he came home and he was like, he said, somebody called me a nigga, right? And I was like, what? He said, our neighbor, he pointed out the dude's house. He's like, the kid that lives in that house right here called me a nigga. And I'm like, tell me how it happened. Give me the scenario. He's in the hallway. He's late for class. The boy sees him in the hallway. The boy said, get your ass to class, you bitch ass nigga.
Yeah, that's the.
I was like,
and that,
what?
That was
now this is a white boy that said that to my son. So I'm like, huh? Like, we don't talk like that in my house. But this is what the young man said to him. So the next day at the bus stop, I approached him and his mother, and I just said, you know, I heard you call my son a nigger yesterday, you know? And the mother was just like, oh my God. She was like, what? You know, no. And I'm just like, it's all good. I know you hear children call each other that. I know you hear people call each other that or themselves that, but we don't talk like that in my house. So please don't call my son that. And that was the end of it. So I don't know. I just know that these kids, they talk crazy to each other all day and all night. This young man, the little guy in the park, his mother probably calls him that on a daily basis, every single day, all day. You never know. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying it's right for this lady to call him that. That I'm not saying, but they making it seem like it's a word that we haven't heard since the last man was hanged, and, you know, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like, it's kind of at a point you say, you guys are just trying to hop on any little stupid thing. Like, you can't criminalize the lady for it. It is not a crime to call somebody the N-word. No matter how much we may think it should be, it's not. So beyond harassing the lady and making her life a living hell, what exactly can we do? Get mad, like induce trauma over it? That's my
what
question.
We could do is get over it and stop playing like every little goddamn thing is it hurts. Every little thing is getting on my nerves. I'm about to disassociate from you people.
Yeah. With black people, I think we need to develop a bit of a tougher skin. because if we keep walking around with these sensitivities, we're not going to make it. And I really do know that it's just an act. We like to try to like see what we bring attention to it because we want to see what we can get. You know what I'm saying?
They want people to feel sorry for you. Like, nobody cares, bro. Like, the bills is due.
Hey, nobody cares, bro. Brandon Tatum, I don't even watch his channel like that, but he has a video out right now where he's like, white people are tired of black people. And honestly, there are a lot of black people who are tired of black people. I'm honestly sick of having to see this shit every day on the internet. Like, we ain't mobilizing around building no infrastructure, like building our own, but we want to keep complaining about how we're treated within someone else's infrastructure. I hate that. Like, if you don't like it, build your own. If you don't like the way you're treated at this restaurant, build your own damn restaurant, or go up in a black-owned restaurant so you can have dirty dishes and rips in the damn boots,
and then cry about how your service was trash and yada yada. There's no satisfaction, my guy. It's just these people are lunatics, and it's getting worse. It's like, it's getting worse.
Low value man Dusty and Broke hit it on the head. He said, imagine constantly using a word that offends you, then trying to gatekeep who can say it or not. Pure idiocy.
Oh, yes. Say that. That is a fact. Put that in bold lettering.
You're so offended by it, but it's coming out your lips every other word. I'm telling you, if you come to Cali, you could go to the park. It'd be Asians. They calling each other the N-word. All like fast. You bitch ass nigga, you bitch ass nigga. Like, all races are using the N-word now. To each other, Mexican people saying it to their black friends, all that. And black people are giving people a pass for saying it. I'm not even joking with you. It's this one video where this fat Mexican says the N-word. And a black dude's like, yo, what you say? He turns around and like, oh, right here, I got it. Perfect. I know y'all all saw this. Don't act like you ain't see this. This one right here. You ever saw this, Miss Berry?
No.
Watch this.
So all you niggas, whites and brown, jeans, tacuaches. See, I'm Mexican. I can say what's up, nigga. ¿Qué pasa, güey? ¿Qué pasa, vato? You saw shit. Hey, you saw shit. Hey, you saw? Hey, we make the next.
He literally said, all you niggas, you whites, you Mexican, you whatever. And then when the black guy got in his face, and then the guy says, I'm Mexican, I can say it. It's just depending on how we feel that day. It's just depending on how we feel that day. It's totally arbitrary when we want to enforce the nigga law. I'm not about to die on that hill. So you can arbitrarily enforce some word that you use probably more than you should. Probably let your white girlfriend call you the N-word when y'all having sex with a hard ER. Do you understand that when you have this type of thinking, it literally is detrimental to progress? Like, I mean, not detrimental. It's literally, what's a good word? It's literally, we're literally flies in the face of making progress. It makes making progress impossible. You either have to stand for it, or you have to say, you know what? That's not a hill I'm willing to die on. We want to stand for it only when we think we could get something from the same people who we're leveling the charge against. I'm going to get something from white folks by calling out a white person saying the N-word. If white people were that bad, why would you even have the opportunity to get something off of calling white people out for saying the N-word? You're going to have to make up your mind. Is the white man bad?
I'm sorry. I just want to know who was the little N-word. Where is the little kid and where is the mother?
Yeah, she ain't nowhere to be found. They gonna hide her. They gonna hide her. You know what I would have said if you came up to me like the kid who called your son the N-word? I would have lied and said something like, oh, his dad is black.
What you mean, a baby?
No, No, remember your son in the hallway got called the N-word?
Oh yeah, the little boy.
Man, we out here race mixing so hard. How would you even know if the kid had a black dad or not? Have you ever seen
They were my neighbors. So I knew he didn't have a black dad, but it wasn't like, I was just shocked, like, what? And then when he told me how he said it, I'm like, oh, okay. And that was really because that's how these kids talk to each other. This is their lingo. This is the way they talk. But my son don't talk like that. So he's like, yo, this happened to me today. And I'm like, oh, I come from Brooklyn, so I didn't heard it all. But for him, it's like, this happened. And I'm like, okay, so how did it happen? Like, tell me how exactly he said it. And when he said that, I said, okay, that sounds like kids talking to each other.
Man,
like, disrespecting each other in the hallway of school.
If he didn't say the hard ER, bro, ain't really nothing you could do, because they getting that stuff off of the internet. Get to class, you bitch ass nigga. That's off the internet.
Right.
And kids are so dumb. Kids really, most of them don't understand racism. So they just imitate what they think is popular, right? But like, I had white friends when I was younger, Andrew, Thomas, Garrett. They never called me no N-word, but also at the same time, I didn't call others the N-word. I went to a white school. And even at home, we wasn't calling each other the N-word. But I mean, people are
right. And the school that he was in is a white school, is a white school, more or less, majority. But those black kids that go there, they want to be down so bad. They not even cut from that cloth. You see what I'm saying? But when they come to school, they acting like N-words for real.
Yeah, and what's funny, ain't nothing worse than a white kid who's been taught about blackness from a black kid who ain't really growing up around, the hood, the community. You gonna be out here with a total misrepresentation of what's okay and what's not okay. Like, I'll give you an example. If you watch the show Everybody Hates Chris, right? You remember he got the little white boy who's his best friend? Well, Chris is a damn nerd. Chris is a nerd. So, and his friend is a nerd. So when they try to teach each other about their culture, they come from a nerd perspective. So obviously a lot of things are going to be missing in those lessons that they're giving each other about their culture. See, so it's a lot of like nuance to the situation. Is the lady a racist? Yes. Is it a hill I'm willing to die on? No, because it's really not that big a deal. It's only being presented as a big deal because somebody stands to make a profit off of that. Whether that be actually like a payout or if it's just people profiting online by posting videos about it. Like, literally, we have to understand that there has been a online or social media has presented a new incentive dynamic, an incentivized motive for shedding a light or putting a lens on things that are really very minute. That situation would have never made the news if it wasn't for social media. And also, like you handled it, Miss Berry, you just went to the lady, you told her, you explained what was what, and the mom was like, I'm so sorry. That's where it ended. We don't want to go to each other anymore and just have the conversations that need to take place. Now we want to present it. We want to lay it at the feet of the court of public opinion and hope it catches fire and then be caught up on this shit for weeks at a time. Look, the lady moved.
Right.
She got $1 million. But guess what? If you guys would have never put it on the internet, like, she's a winner. She got $1 million off of this shit. What did you get? Nothing. So now you're literally your hunger or thirst to find racism and put it on display is now helping racists win and earn money. So it backfired on you. Don't you feel dumb? What do you think, Miss Berry? Last thoughts?
I don't have any thoughts on the situation. I really feel.
You blurped out. Miss Berry, you said, I really feel something.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I was outside of my car. But I'm saying they just want to get you all worked up so you could go outside and burn shit down like they did in 2020, when they had that George Floyd. George Floyd was the best thing that ever happened to these people. Now they trying to make it, they trying to get the 2.0. They got the Donald Trump 2.0. They got the MAGA 2.0. They want the George Floyd 2.0. They trying to make shit shake, but like somebody said, it's fatigue. People are tired of this shit. Even black people tired of it. Like, we don't want to deal with this.
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of this.
This I'm saying. Like, we don't want to be out here yelling and screaming and crying and begging. Like, nobody don't want to do that shit. But the powers that be, that's how they see us, because that's all we ever do. That's what we known for. Crying and screaming and begging and crying. Nobody ain't trying to do that shit. It's 2025. We got business to handle.
Yeah, man, it's exhausting. And then when you say, hey, guys, if you don't want to deal with racism, if you don't want to deal with discrimination, let's just build our own. They don't want to do that either. So it's kind of like, damn.
We can't build our own. Why would we ever do that, Brandon? Because somebody got to be in charge. And, in words.
Nah, it's more like somebody has to be the victim. It's like we have this.
Yeah, true.
Somebody has to be oppressing somebody, or we can't be a part of it. That's black people's mindset. If there isn't an oppressor and an oppressee or a victim, we don't want to be a part of it because we want to be in the spot.
Yeah, somebody boot gotta be on somebody's neck. You can't just be chilling. Ain't that some bullshit? That's effed up, bruv.
Bruh, it has to be like a zero-sum game. Like, somebody has to win, right? It ain't like that. White people can build a nice megaplex with a shopping mall, and you can go in there and shop with them. You can also build a megaplex with a shopping mall, and they could come shop with you. Maybe if you built your own, and they like, dang, they see something online that they really want, and they like, dang, they only got it at the nigger mall. They might come through and learn how to treat black people right. But you don't build anything. Therefore, in this country, no one respects you. White people are starting to look at black people like a bunch of freeloaders, like a bunch of dependents. All right, we know you built this country, but what have you done for me lately? America is a country.
And then black people up there talk about gimme. If you don't give it to me, then I'm gonna. Like, what the? This is so stupid.
It's ignorant. That's what it is. It's ignorant. And if you say that, guess what? Renee Henderson said, I'm suffering from race bait grifter fatigue. It's tiresome.
That's it. Race bait grifter fatigue. I like that one.
Hey, 100%. I'm tired of you UINs. I'm tired.
Word up. Like, you know what I mean? I raised my children to not hurt your children, like Hassan Campbell would say.
Right. And like, I've been over at No Jumper lately, and it's so crazy because
I had to reconnect.
Okay, it sounds great. I've been over at No Jumper lately, and it's so crazy to me how you got all these black people calling Adam a culture vulture. He's the Miss Berry. Tell me, when I sit back, is my sound okay?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Okay, cool. You got all these people calling Adam, the guy who owns No Jumper, he's a culture vulture. He's a racist. He's a fed. Man, when I walk in No Jumper and see way them niggas, they revere Adam and they just want an opportunity to please him. I just be like,
they in there like, oh yes, sir, boss, yes, sir. They in there like the slave that sat by the. No, I'm joking. But that's how they try to make it seem when you working with people like that,
And he literally is like, look, here's the studio. You guys do whatever you want. Let's see if it hits on YouTube. He's not pulling any strings like that. He's giving these people, he's taking people who are otherwise unemployable, because I ain't giving them no damn job, and he's giving them an opportunity to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Even if you're helping black people have to, structure it in the form of oppression. It's like, if we're not being oppressed, we don't know what to do with ourselves. It's disgusting, really. But I guess now we could move on to this other thing. I should have been, while Miss Berry was talking, I should have been tapping into this situation. Recently, Saquon Barkley has come under the scrutiny of African Americans because he did something that if you're black, it's absolutely unforgivable. He went
to play golf, right?
He went to go spend some time with President Donald Trump as at Trump's request, because Donald Trump wanted to bring attention or give praise to the Philadelphia Eagles as Super Bowl champions. So Saquon, the team went to the White House, and Saquon Barkley went before the team visit to the White House and played a couple of rounds of golf with Donald Trump, because he's an avid golfer. And for some reason, African Americans are all over him. Let me play this clip.
The Philadelphia Eagles heading to the nation's capital to celebrate their Super Bowl win over the Chiefs.
The team is set to meet with President Donald Trump at the White House later this afternoon. There's some uncertainty about which players are making the trip, but one of the team's biggest stars is already there.
Action News Sports Director Deuces Rogers joins us now live from the White House with a preview of today's ceremony. Hi, Deuces.
Hey there, Sarah and Alicia. Yes, we cannot get enough of that Eagles Super Bowl victory, and the Eagles get yet another chance to celebrate that today. They will take part in today's ceremony at the White House. It'll put a bow on the 2024 season as they take part in that time-honored tradition of having the president welcome them here to the White House and congratulate them in person. Now, you mentioned there's been some talk as to which Eagles players will attend today's event. Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Eagles, said a few months ago that this is an optional event, that it's up to the individual player if they want to come to this event or not. One player that we do know that is already here is Saquon Barkley. Over the weekend, the Eagles running back actually golfed with President Trump at his country club in Bedminster, New Jersey. Then Barkley flew here to D.C. with the president aboard Marine One. Barkley took some heat on social media about this, as you can imagine. He responded this morning with a tweet that essentially said, "This is not about politics. It's about respecting the office of the president. We are, of course, here to celebrate the Super Bowl championship team." The president actually saw a lot of the game firsthand as the Eagles destroyed the Chiefs 40-22 in Super Bowl 59 down in New Orleans. It's the Eagles' second Super Bowl victory, but their first trip here to the White House, their visit after Super Bowl 52 8 years ago, was canceled. For the 2024 Birds, this might be the last time they can get together as a team to celebrate this incredible season, their incredible accomplishments. Once again, they're set to meet with President Trump coming up a little bit later. The ceremony is going to happen at 4 o'clock on the south lawn of the White House. We'll have it for you live here on 6 ABC. We're at the White House. I'm Deuces Rogers, Channel 6 Action News.
Deuces Rogers. I like that name. He don't look like a Deuces. He don't look cool enough to be called Deuces. Yeah, so once again, the Negro Coalition is up in arms because Super Bowl champion running back Saquon Barkley goes to the White House, goes to President Trump's country club to play some golf, gets to ride on Marine One, bro. Come on, guys. That's awesome. That's freaking awesome. And we got to tear this black man down because we've been programmed by the Democrat machine to hate anybody who does anything with Donald Trump.
Isn't that crazy? The white man tell you what to do and you do it. Ain't that about a bitch? They said hate Donald Trump and they is hating him so bad. The white man told them to do that. That wasn't even something they did on their own. Like, that's what makes me like, wow. I'm just like, I can't even believe it, but I can believe it. But anyway, this is sports talk. I'm a cheer mom. We do cheer over here, honey. I'll sit at the sidelines and watch the game, but I don't know. I can't talk about it.
I mean, shoot. It ain't nothing to really talk about. Just the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and you get invited to the White House if you win a championship in sports.
Right. That's what they do, right? I remember Joe Biden had a team there and he put a helmet on. He, he put the helmet on that one time. I don't know what team that was, but that was funny. And so what's the problem with going to see the president? That's what they do, right? They visit the White House. They go to Disney World. Like, that's tradition, no?
Wait, let me tell you this. Black people will admit that Joe Biden is a racist. They'll admit that. But when the sports teams go see Biden, they don't have a problem with it. That's how you know this is all programming. These people are not operating on their own volition. These people just say, Massa told me to hate Trump, so I'm going to hate Trump. That's what I do. I'm going to hate Trump. That's all this is. There's no coherent, rational thought in this situation. And let me tell you another thing that's absolutely like crazy. I thought all of the NFL owners were racist after Kaepernick. So Negroes will still participate in, consume, and support a league ran by racist NFL owners. Their words.
Don't even get me started.
But if Saquon Barkley goes to see Donald Trump, who we've confirmed is not a racist, we've confirmed that already. Even Stephen A. Smith, who's a flip-flopper, he was talking to Brandon Tatum the other day on his show, and he said, look, I've known Donald Trump for 40 years. He wasn't a racist then, and he's not a racist now. I was around Donald Trump when the Oprahs and all these sports people and all these celebrities were around Donald Trump. And there was nothing wrong with Trump then. That's a rare time when Stephen A. spoke the truth. But it's been confirmed by the black people who are closest to Donald Trump that he is not a racist. Why do we keep on carrying this racist narrative?
Because they told the black people, first of all, that Colin Kaepernick nonsense, what's his name, Saquon? If he was down on his knees protesting, they be on their knees too. Stand up, black man. It's all right to walk side to side talking golf talk with the Don. You know what I'm saying? What's the problem?
That's boss shit to me. That's
business deals are made on the golf course. Y'all don't know that? They don't know that. They just been, oh, he's a racist. You know what? I don't want to be a part of this conversation. I'm hanging out because I be getting mad. I be getting mad when people do that. I can't stand that.
Man, real talk. Honestly, the thing with black people is we will give up prosperity and our ability to make a deal that can help our community if we think that it's going to endear us to the Democrat Party. And I'm just like, dude, it doesn't matter what you do. The Democrat Party does not give two shits about you. They've literally proven that. They've literally told you when they turned you down for reparations. Hey, we'll use you, we'll manipulate you, but we are not going to do anything for you.
But you didn't hear Jasmine Crockett's commencement speech, honey? She told you to get your boots on the ground, honey.
hey, that's
she's speaking a language, the nonsense.
Hey,
that's the next subject? All right, keep going, do your thing. I'm listening.
No, but the thing is, Saquon Barkley he's an alpha male. You're not going to control what he does. And thank God his income does depend on you, but you're going to give him your money regardless because you're hopelessly addicted to sports entertainment. So if you are truly what he's not going to do and what he shouldn't do is engage with black hypocrisy and allow it to impact the way he does whatever he does. See, it's like, I hear what y'all saying, but I can't really take y'all serious because y'all are against racism. Y'all have already determined the NFL to be a racist franchise or organization, but you still consume NFL football. You still go out and train your kids You got a little kid, bro, about 5'2", 112 pounds. You got him weighed down in football gear because you think he's going to be the next star running back in what? In the NFL. But then you go vote against the NFL owners and you go and scream and protest against the NFL because it's racist. I ain't never seen slaves voting for the plantation. I ain't never seen slaves who say they hate the massa but don't want to stop. They get to freedom, but they want to keep going back to visit the plantation. That's black folks for you in a nutshell.
And wanting so bad to be owned by somebody, looking for somebody to pick them up and buy them. You know what I'm saying? Get them off the auction block.
Who's gonna own us? They like women looking for a husband. I just need a man.
Oh,
that's me. I need a man in my life, Brandon. I don't know what to do. I'm tired of being lonely. Hey, that's us. We need a racist in our life. We need a racist in our life. Without a racist in our life, we don't even know who we are. Like, there is no me without a racist. There's no me without the Klan. And that's what it looks like. That looks to be the mindset that we've adopted, and we're leaning into it. Saquon, keep doing your thing. Don't let these Negroes get you down. They're going to be here tomorrow, dog. If you rush for 1,000 yards next season, they're going to love you, and they're going to forget all about this mess. So do your thing, boy. We got to talk about the next thing. Our girl. Wait, let me get the banner up. Let me get the banner up first.
Cheryl, that is your girl.
Our girl, like I said. No, I'm just kidding. Is her name spelled with a Z or a S? Jasmine Crockett. Fitting last name because she's full of
Drunky, McNunky. She always fucking drunk. Yeah, they say she acting ghetto, but that's her drunk. That's what she be acting when she drunk. She's a drunk behind, okay? Little baby Maxine.
Hey, listen. Jasmine Crockett. I hope I spelled her name right. Let me get her spelling right. I ain't trying to have her. If she ever hears about me, she'll be like, he can't even spell my name. He's racist. It's with an S. Jasmine Crockett, our beautiful black queen, Texas politician, right? Out of the Dallas area. Jasmine Crockett tells black, spell check. Let me see. Blacks with the S. Guys, I'm making my clips while I'm doing this live. Jasmine Crockett tells blacks to hit white people with chairs. That's what she in her commencement speech.
At graduation, I would have, if that was my child graduation, I would have bugged out on Yo, that's crazy. And she got wild applause. What school was that?
I don't know.
Oh my God, that had me so mad. I was like, if it was me graduating, or if I was like the parent of somebody coming, that's not the type of speech I want to hear. I'm sorry. No.
Who would bring Jasmine Crockett to their college to give a commencement speech? That's my question.
I don't know. Whatever school that was. What school was that?
I don't even know. I'm seeing right now. It was. Dang, somebody was just talking about that. Oh, I think I seen this on Instagram. It was at Tougaloo College. That makes sense. Tougaloo College.
Where is that?
I've never even heard of it, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was Tougaloo College. Jasmine Crockett gives the commencement speech, and she tells the black people at Tougaloo, because I think it's a HBCU, to hit them white folks with some chairs. Let's listen to a little bit of her commencement speech so we could see if she was making any sense in the beginning.
That's this cool song, and that somebody did, and it says "Clock It" with Jasmine Crockett. So it's a fun song. Listen, good morning. Now, I'm not going to try to hold y'all, and I'm about to get real for 2 seconds. Just give me 2 seconds.
Drunk.
First of all, I want to thank you, President Lee, so much for the honor of speaking. I hope you don't regret it. I also must say thank you to the Board of Trustees for having me here as your keynote speaker. Thank you to the distinguished faculty and staff for all that you've done and continue doing to pour into the talented scholars sitting before us today. Thank you, President Emerita, Dr. Beverly Wade Hogan, who has knocked down many doors and shattered ceilings in her own right. Thank you for never relenting in the face of trying times and rising to every challenge with focus and sheer will. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. To my friend and colleague, a distinguished alumnus and trustee emeritus, Congressman Benny Thompson.
Okay, I get it now.
The fight, never letting up, never slowing down. If can't stop, won't stop was a person, it would be Congressman Benny Thompson. I also must say thank you so much to Derek Johnson, the CEO of the NAACP. Thank you for being, yes. Thank you for being Tougaloo rooted and on the forefront of the modern day civil rights fight that we find ourselves in. And as a point of personal privilege, let me just say, thank you to the baddest woman walking on this planet that serves on your board, Madam Secretary Marsha Fudge. I hope y'all caught that baddest. That was for the Sorors. Where the Sorors at? Okay, there we go. Hope y'all caught that. All right.
Man, her like fake ass ghetto delivery is so annoying.
Exactly. She sounds like a gay man.
Yeah, she's like trying too hard. Like, I'm trying to show you how black I could be. Girl, you 44 years old. Go sit your ass down somewhere. Grow up, Jasmine. And that's why no one takes us seriously. Because we celebrate and cheer for people like that and then ask people to respect us. If you want to be respected, do something respectable. Here goes the clip right here.
That you don't belong. And I am here to tell you over and over and over that you absolutely belong. There are people that are going to tell you that there is not a table in which there is a seat for you. But I am here to remind you of Montgomery and those folding chairs. Let me tell you that we know how to use a chair, whether we pulling it up or we doing something else with it. Let me be the first one to tell you that I know that y'all are ready to put your boots on the ground.
I'm so sick of this lady. So
no, seriously. Thank you for stopping it. Oh my God.
So basically, she's referring to the Montgomery, Alabama brawl, where those black people got in a fight with those white people, and one of the guys picked up a chair and he was hitting people with the chair. You remember that? You remember
yes, that? I remember that nonsense. A bunch of nonsense. This is what I'm saying. If I was in that graduation, what do you call it? Audience, that would have me pissed off. I would be mad, but I guess Tougaloo School for Humanities, I don't know what they studied or graduating doing or what's going on, but no, thank you.
Listen, the lady is an insensitive jerk. She's trying to stoke the fires of racial aggression, racial conflict, because they are trying to create chaos, because that's what they want. Their number one donor, George Soros, wants them to do.
Yo, but George Soros was robbing us and using our money to play us for the fool. So he wasn't even using his bread. That right there got me mad about that too. All of our money was going to these people.
Hey, Sticks and Stones says she was really up there. She was up there acting like she was dropping jewels. That shit was trash. 100%. She's fake deep like Kamala Harris. She's trying to be deep. Man, I'm telling you, this woman is doing, she's Kamala Harris 2.0. I didn't think anyone could sound stupider than Kamala Harris, but she managed to achieve that. And then she's like looking back at the people sitting on stage because she wants to like force them to like clap and cheer for the dumb shit she said. Girl, these are scholars. These are intelligent.
Right. And she's in Congress. Like she should have like a real speech. Like she should be giving them motivation and just outlook. Not talking about folding chairs and putting your boots on the ground. Like that.
Hey, speaking of folding chairs, can you guys help us hit our goal? We have a goal in the comments. It's right there for you to see. $5 super chats before the 2-hour mark. We're at the 2-hour mark, coming up on it. About 8 minutes away, or how many minutes that? Yeah, about 12 minutes away from it. Can you guys please contribute to the stream? Also, please hit the like button. I really need you guys to start hitting the like button. We are in an algorithm no man's land. Like, YouTube does not know where to send my videos because I'm having a lot of crossover from the no jumper audience. Please hit the like button so we can get our views up to where they are supposed to be, and so we can be a success and get this message out to everyone who wants to listen. Alan HB said, she is the Black Marjorie Taylor Greene. It is ironic that she got into it with her inverse twin.
I can't agree with that because I think Marjorie Taylor Greene has introduced many bills to the floor. Like, I'm not talking about socially and how they act, and I'm talking about what's the job? What are they doing? They were hired for a specific job. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene has her name on more bills than Jasmine Crockett. What legislation has Jasmine Crockett introduced?
Nothing. Look, Jasmine Crockett doesn't even do anything for her constituents. She is literally an agent of the party. You get elected, you ignore your constituents, and you run around picking fights with Donald Trump while your party tries to figure out what's going to be their message for the next election. Shout out to my boy Hakeem with the first $5 holler. We only need 4 more. Jasmine's rhetoric will only get Black men unalived. She's creating future marches. 100%. She's emboldening people. And then when they go out and commit the crime she's telling them to commit, she's not going to be there for them. Why would you encourage violence from the state, from a college, university stage during a commencement speech? You literally told Black people to commit violence against white people. And then what they do is they hide their hand. I would never promote violence. Bro, you're doing it every single day. You're doing it every single day. It's just like Biden saying, I can't secure the border without an act of Congress, but he knows good and well he has the power as president to secure the border. They lie. They pretend like they're innocent, like they're oblivious to what's happening out in these streets. And people fall for it.
She might be oblivious, but she has a job to do. And why is she not doing her job? Like, when I go to work, I gotta work. I don't got time to be playing games.
No, 100%. 100%. But yeah, she's ignorant. And look, Alan says she's the Black Marjorie Taylor Greene. Alan, she is the Black Kamala Harris. Because Kamala Harris ain't Black. This girl sounds.
Yo, that's so true. She's doing what Kamala was supposed to do.
She sounds just like Kamala Harris. She's a less. The problem with Kamala Harris actually suffers from a condition with her, like her nerves. She's nervous. It's a condition that she suffers from. She actually takes medicine for it. Jasmine Crockett is just a Kamala Harris who's not going to freeze up in the moment. See, she doesn't freeze up because she's so brazen with her ignorance. She doesn't care.
And drunk.
Yeah, and drunk. They all drunk. She definitely on the 3 bottles of wine a night program. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, let me flesh out a little bit what I was trying to say. I think that what she is again, this is what happens when you become what you hate. You instead of going ahead and trying to be better than what you don't dislike, you just go ahead and just keep going lower and lower. And she just sees things. She thinks that Congress and that doing all this stuff is just a show, and that is for her to out black the other person or to use as many cool cultural references as possible to then get her name out there and be relatable. It's worked. She's famous, but she's not effective. So I agree that she's not as effective as Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? But what her and Marjorie Taylor Greene have in common is that they're playing towards a certain two opposite sides of the coin, and they're just trying to appeal to a certain core audience, and culturally, but not necessarily. Green is more effective in terms of getting legislation done. I agree with that, but they're pretty much very similar people, which is why as soon as they meet,
Green is a qualified politician. Jasmine,
but what he's saying is, they want to be known. They want their name, out there.
Right.
I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, it's ironic that they clash because they're pretty much doing very similar things.
I don't see it from your perspective with that, like with them being like doing the same thing, like.
Well, she appeals culturally to white conservatives, the kind of the downtrodden. She appeals to those people culturally, and she goes out of her way to use the references they like to hear, and it made her famous. All right. Jasmine is just doing the exact same thing. She's throwing in every cultural reference she can, which is why
so
she got
you're saying that they both appeal to their constituents, the people who hired them.
Correct. And they know their core audience. They appeal to it, and they're willing to go whatever the common man is saying, in the barbershop, at the bar, and stuff like that. They just go ahead and figure it out and repeat it.
No, but Jasmine Crockett is not saying. You're being lazy, Alan.
I don't think it's lazy.
No, you're being lazy with your thinking, because nobody in the black community act or talk like Jasmine Crockett.
I feel like
yes, they do. Not all.
Not all of them, but who are her constituents?
No one's who's voting
because I haven't seen.
Yes, they do. Go over that. She is the embodiment of the problem with the Black American voter.
The Divine Nine, so she has a constituent.
Go over to the Roland Martin. Go over to the Roland Martin show, and they love her. They think she's great.
But nobody listens to Roland Martin. Like,
he has a pretty big network.
Who listen to Roland Martin? Crazy ass, sound like somebody on.
The majority of black people do not listen to Roland Martin. Like serious black people, even within the circles Jasmine Crockett is in, they don't sound like how she sounded. And I could prove it to you, Alan. Let's just go back and watch the video of Jasmine Crockett before she started acting ghetto. Those are the type of people who voted Jasmine Crockett in. Sophisticated black people who are educated.
Exactly. Same thing with Fonnie.
Jasmine Crockett is, wait a minute. Now Jasmine Crockett is trying to appeal to the lower echelon of society, trying to motivate
to get them to come to the
yes. You got to realize something. You can't say, oh, this appeals to her constituents. Her constituents are lawyers, doctors, professional black people. That is why when she first got in, She was professional. She would have never got to where she is if she was acting the way she acts now back then.
Well, she do the code switching. They said that's a code switch. She just code switched for that video. She just did that so she could code switch.
I'm gonna tell you why it's not it's not lazy. Is she's doing something very specific, and why I'm saying that her and I'm pushing back that her and Marjorie Taylor Greene are doing something very similar.
But Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't code switch.
No, I'm not talking about in terms of code switching. I'm talking in terms of appealing to extreme and using extreme rhetoric.
Difference. There's a difference. I think there's a difference. I do, because I mean, with what Jasmine Crockett is doing, she's trying to, like he said, appeal to the lowest, the lowest of society, of the Black cultural society.
You don't see
in order to get them to come to the ballot box.
I agree.
But with Marjorie, she's just appealing. She's doing the job that her constituents hired her to do. So she's appealing to them because she's doing what she said she wants to do, and she talks about it. And then she also supports Donald Trump, like, to the umpteenth power. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Well, tell me this, Alan. Tell me this. I'm gonna mute you, Miss. Yeah, okay. Tell me this, Alan.
Mm-hmm.
Give me an example of a speech where Marjorie Taylor Greene told white people to go get chairs and hit Black people with them.
She didn't. She never did that, right? But my point is that what she does do is she puts her finger, licks her finger, puts her finger in the air, and figures out what will appeal to a certain group of people culturally. I don't think this girl is even smart enough to be trying to incite any sort of a race war or anything like that.
What do you mean? She's smart to do that. All you gotta do is say the right.
She knows what she's doing.
I don't think so. I think what she's doing is getting popular and just saying things that will get her popular and get people talking about her, being provocative.
So a 44-year-old woman who's smart enough to be a lawyer don't know what she's doing. Come on, Alan, you're being a hypocrite right now.
I'm not being a hypocrite. I'm telling you.
A white person,
what I believe. I'm telling you what I believe about this lady.
If a white person was doing that, you would not assign it to just being ignorant and oblivious to the real impact of their words. You would say that person is intentionally trying to stoke division between people based on race in America.
Here's why I'm saying that. Because the references she's making and the constant turning around and looking for approval is so blatant that I wonder how intentional is this woman at all? Because think about it. Nobody's going to come to and do a commencement speech and bring up all that crap. You know,
she wrote that down.
Else is playing to.
She prepared that. She prepared that.
Did she prepare that?
Yes,
that was written.
Then she's unbelievably stupid.
She is unbelievably stupid, Alan. That's what we keep trying to get you to understand. The woman is ignorant. Listen. When you could be a very smart person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you could do a really good job for a long time. But the minute you get to a point where your job performance is no longer the metric by which your effectiveness is being measured, there's something called regression, right? It's an erosion of your abilities or your skills to the point that you are no longer able to operate at the level that you once did. That's what Kamala Harris is dealing with. That's what Jasmine Crockett is dealing with. These are people who are used to being in court every day, doing research, studying, arguing cases, all this stuff.
I'm skeptical of how effective she was, as an attorney.
Right.
I don't believe it.
And I'm not, because I think she's playing the game. She's Tony Bugsby.
Tony Bugsby or Busby?
Busby. That's what I mean. She's Tony Busby. That's who I'm trying to say that she is.
No,
more like George Costanza.
She but you know how Tony Busby just kind of like, well, what can I do today? What will get me the most attention today? What can I do and get myself into today? That's what it everything's a heat check with her. Yeah, what's gonna work today? I'm not sure how planned she really is. I just don't think she's very
intelligent.
I don't.
None of us do.
And that's what I'm trying to say. And I feel the same way about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think so that's the reason why, again, I think we all know people who, you get two people in the room and just, those two personalities are not going to work together. And then as soon as those two people, interact in a way, it becomes it's TNT. And so again, that's the reason why I drew that analogy. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene appeals to the lowest common denominator of certain MAGA voters. I'm gonna be even more extreme than Trump. Whatever Trump says, I'm gonna ratchet it up and see how that works. I think that she appeals to the Roland Martin crowd and ratchets it up even more extreme. And then we have this thing in our community where very intelligent people feel shame to call people out like her, because then it means that they're not being down with the community. They're not black enough and stuff like that. And that's all she's doing. That's what I see. I don't see anybody who has the forethought to really do it, to stoke anything.
No, I
playing along. That's how you saying it. Like
that's exactly what I see. All I see is a show.
No, I agree with you. She's just a showman with that damn wig. Woo!
When she gets slapped upside her damn head one day, hopefully she wakes that ass up.
That wig is whooped down, bro. That wig is whooped down.
But think about all the black people who even will take this clip and will shout us all down for having, for even insisting or saying that this woman is not a sincere actor. Is not really somebody who's, and I believe, and this is my belief, I don't know if this is true, but I believe that there are other black people who can see right through it, but to say something would cost them too much socially, so they don't say anything.
Oh yeah, we in our community, you get shouted down for giving.
No, when somebody had posted something a long time ago with her saying something, and I said in the comment section, she's a dud. And that would turn into like a back and forth, but I didn't really want to go back and forth. I went back and then I didn't go forth because I wasn't going to keep arguing. But that's crazy. They start calling you out your name. A dud.
Sticks and Stones. Shout out to Sticks and Stones for the $5 cash app. Bro said her wig is stiff. 3 words. If she ever run for president, I'm getting a shirt and putting that on it. Her wig is stiff. Wait, how many words is that? Her wig, that's 4 words. Her wig is stiff. She's a hair hat wearing hooligan.
She's the Shanae of Congress.
Man, yeah. She used to be classy. Now she's trashy.
She's playing a role. I'm just telling you. That's the first thing I see. I don't even
as a female, as a woman, that I don't like that represents me in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Because when I walk in the room, you see me, you thinking Jasmine Crockett. No.
But then again, if you go over to like I said, to the Roland Martin side of things, they'll make it seem as if she's like the heir to like Barbara Jordan and all these other people, and it is. And again, I'm pretty sure that there are people in that audience who can kind of say that's not quite true, but they won't say anything because they're scared to be shouted down and called a coon.
Yeah, 100%.
Cognitive dissonance, and I don't play those games.
Oh, 100%. But guys, we're gonna leave it right there. We're at the 2-hour mark. I'm gonna call it a day on this. I got some more work after this. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, keep on watching us. Stay tuned for videos that are coming out following this one. I would appreciate if you guys would hit the like button, share the content, and guess what? We're only $5 super chats away. Let's get it done, guys. That's pretty much it. We had a good show. We covered several topics. I will chop this show up and put these videos into the, I will post them as individual short form videos. Feel free to go check them out if you didn't catch the whole show. I enabled the button for timestamps on this video, so let's hope that that does what it's supposed to do. Thank you, Ms. Berry, for hopping up.
Thanks for having me. Have a good night.
You too. Shout out to my boy Alan HB for hopping up. I know it's about to be nighttime where some of you are, but it's daytime over here. So, like I always say, take care of yourselves, but most importantly, please take care of each other. Peace.